Thank you for continuing with BSB 41507 Certificate 4 in Project Management. This is a precursor to the workshop for the assessment criteria listed for week 4, being a work breakdown structure, stakeholder clarification, and the resource allocation to tasks. The 4 stages, as we have identified, are concept, design, implementation, and finalisation. This is clarified on page 16 of PMBOK 4, particularly Figure 2-1. Figure 2-1 is then clarified in far more detail throughout the whole of Chapter 4. Even though in this particular level of qualification we may not cover all the subjects in Chapter 4, students are required to read and understand the full chapter and ask for clarification if there is anything they do not understand. The first stage is concept. And as detailed in Chapter 4, this can relate to a full project charter. The tasks included within the concept stage may include contract negotiations. For example, if 2 organisations are coming together as joint ventures to build an infrastructure project, all the negotiations and all the contractual obligations and clarification would be finalised during this concept stage. Otherwise, the project would not continue. All approvals and particularly due diligence tasks must be complete. This being the proof and evidence required to give the integrity of the project and assurance to the key stakeholders that the project should proceed. And of course, board or other senior stakeholder or executive management approval. Ultimately, the objective is that the senior stakeholders or sponsor signs off that all the stages completed within the concept have been full and approved and completed so that the rest of the project can proceed. It is likely that no other activities in the design or implementation stages would proceed until the full concept stage had been completed. This is the showstopper. If concept is not successfully completed, the project will not continue. In the design elements, the task would include all the planning activities that would prepare the project to be implemented. This results in a full project management plan. This particular stage of the project is often not managed or planned as well as the implementation stage. This may be that some project managers do not understand that tasks may appear to be duplicated in the 2 stages. For example, if the objective in the implementation stage is to build a wall, in the design stage, the materials, the structural integrity, the colours, the internal layout, and all other impacts on that wall would be considered in the design stage. The actual building of the wall and the implementation of the planning would then occur in the implementation tasks. Throughout the design stage, once the design task is complete, it may be appropriate for the implementation to continue straight away without all the other design elements being completed. This very much depends on the impacts and the task relationships and the resources available. It's down to the individual project. It's good governance to ensure that there are significant points of sign-off. This will be covered more in the timelines relating to milestones. However, major planning and design phases will require sign-off by various stakeholders to ensure that these tasks are good to go for implementation. Moving on to the implementation stage. This is the real work of the project. It's usually the main focus of a project, rightly or wrongly. However, if the planning is done right and it is comprehensive, the implementation is usually the easiest part of the project. The implementation tasks provide the finished project deliverables. During the finalisation stage, this is usually the most neglected. However, it is a key element of any project. This is where the approvals and the formal sign-offs are undertaken. Even if this happens throughout the other stages, this is where the project manager should collate and ensure that these are available for the long-term reference. Tasks throughout the finalisation stage often affect the long-term governance and future reference, particularly for mitigation of legal risk. Documents and project records are placed into archive, and particularly lessons learned should be recognised by the stakeholders for future benefit of ongoing projects. And of course there is a specific project close. So in summary, understand the phases. Develop the work breakdown structure and project plan in alignment with the phases. Don't expect one phase to be completely finalised before the next starts, except perhaps the concept, depending on your project.